Welcome to Art of Officiating's Weekly Dozen Playoffs edition. I'm Mark Bradley. This will be the final video installment in 2024. I'm grateful as of this moment, the Art of Officiating video channel has 100 subscribers, which is obviously nothing if you're Joe Rogan, but it's a nice round number. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe today. It's okay to have an unround number again. These videos are from Colorado Springs playoff games with 5 and 7 person mechanics. Please consult your state's mechanics manual and rules interpretations if I say something that doesn't match what you do in your state. We'll start this week's video with 3 mechanics clips. I hope we have some new officials watching because I want to begin by showing you a few what right looks like videos. I'll show 2 wing actions that every head linesman and line judge must master on the field. Arriving at the line to gain or goal line before the ball arrives, and pitching to the ball when it's down close to the line to gain or goal line are 2 essential wing mechanics. Late in the game, Team A is behind, so they're going for it on 4th down and 3 from the A26. This clip is a little fuzzy, but I think you will be able to get the main point. At the snap, watch the head linesman. He immediately moves to the line to gain. That's the money line, and he needs to be stationary at the line to gain with his eyes looking down the line when the ball arrives. If he just stands at the line of scrimmage or walks casually as the ball advances, he won't get that perfect look from the money line. So that's precept number 1. Get to the money line before the ball arrives. The Colorado Mechanics Manual does not give a specific distance from the line of scrimmage to the line to gain for the wings to immediately move to the front stake. In my judgment, anytime the wing is within 3 to 4 yards of the front stake, he or she should immediately move to the line to gain. Precept number 2 is if the ball is down close to the line to gain or the goal line, don't remain on the sideline while marking forward progress. Wings need to sell their confidence in the spot by pinching to the ball and spotting it. It amazes me how even veteran wings fail to pinch and spot the ball when it's down close to the line to gain or the goal line. If the umpire spots the ball, the integrity of the spot is compromised and we should not measure. Both wings crash, which is the correct mechanic. The line judge should be giving the stop the clock signal. The wings should pinch until they meet resistance and then stop, and one of the wings should call for the ball and spot the ball. Notice how the line judge steps around one of the Team B players. Don't do that. Just stop at the first point of resistance, and the umpire can bring the ball to you. This is an outstanding job by both wings. This is what right looks like. The ball is snapped from the B4. We can't see the line judge get to the goal line ahead of the runner, but she did, and that's the first component of selling the call. Be stationary at the goal line before the ball arrives. The ball did not penetrate the goal line. If the wing official remains on the goal line while ruling the ball is short by a few inches, it looks weak. Hustle to the ball and stop when you meet resistance. This is the correct optic. Remember, our voice is also a signal. Loudly yelling, he's short, helps sell the call. I've combined 2 clips to discuss umpire movement. As the runner approaches, this umpire begins to back straight up. This was the umpire's only movement each time the runner came at him. He only backed up. I want to play 2 clips from 2 separate games and then provide a few ideas from a Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference umpire. Here are a few insights from the RMAC umpire. As it pertains to moving when a runner comes at you, moving backward isn't necessarily a bad decision. However, we must keep in mind what potentially is happening behind us, as illustrated in the second clip when the umpire got taken out. The umpire says, "I don't have a hard and fast rule when it comes to self-preservation, but a guideline that I always follow is, where is the soft spot? Meaning, is there an area of the field that is not occupied by players? Sometimes the soft spot is moving forward. However, I have found that lateral movement serves me well. This can be as simple as a single lateral step or utilizing a bucket step, where you make a single step that opens your shoulders to position you perpendicular to the line of scrimmage. Other times, the safe play is standing absolutely still and letting the runner make the cut. Admittedly, this requires an iron will. None of these movements are foolproof, as I have still found myself looking up at the sky from my back. That's the beauty of the umpire position. So thank you to Jesse Crockett and RMAC Umpire for his insight. In this clip, it's probably a better idea to remain stationary and make the runner adjust or move obliquely forward, which means a step forward to the right or left, then make a matador move as the runner reaches you. I think backpedaling at full speed is the least effective movement. As we could see in both clips, there was a lot of area to the right or to the left for the umpire just to slide a step or two. I know it takes a lot of practice and a lot of iron will, but I think that moving forward to the right or the left, or being stationary is a superior option than to just backing straight up in a straight line. The four components of an illegal blindside block are found in Rules 2.3.10, 232.16i, and 9.4.3n. The four components are: the block is executed outside the free blocking zone with forceful contact without using open hands, and the opponent does not see the blocker approaching. This is a safety rule to prevent massive hits on players who have their attention typically on the runner. The illegal blindside block is not as black and white as one would think. What is forceful contact? As I've mentioned in previous videos, the Colorado interpretation of forceful contact is the opponent gets knocked to the ground. But even this interpretation is not binary. An opponent can be knocked to the ground without forceful contact. Another consideration is the rules book says a block must be with open hands. But if the blocker uses the arms to block the opponent, is that acceptable? And finally, the rule component about the opponent seeing the block coming is sometimes open to personal judgment. Is this block by A72 a foul? In my judgment, this is not an illegal blindside block. Although B73 hit the ground, in my judgment, this is not forceful contact. I also see A72 using his arms to shove B73 to the ground instead of hitting him with the shoulder or helmet. Notice how the umpire is standing at the neutral zone when A3 crosses. He's prepared to rule on the quarterback's location if he throws a forward pass. At the end of the clip, you'll see the umpire re-enter the video as he continues to officiate before reporting his flag to the referee. His job is to close down on the players and dead ball officiate instead of immediately running at the referee before the play is over. That's perfect. Here's a final clip highlighting the same umpire. Instead of focusing on the runner, he looks at blocks ahead of the runner, including blocks by the defense. B52 executes an illegal block below the waist against a Team A blocker. This is a foul that sometimes takes us by surprise. Notice how late the flag comes out. We have the luxury of processing what we have observed It's okay to throw a late flag on a hold after we think about it for a few seconds to determine if we view demonstrated restriction at the point of attack that impacted the play. It's okay to mentally process defensive or offensive pass interference and determine that, yes, that was material restriction and it warrants a flag. I like how this umpire threw a flag on a safety foul. It wasn't a huge hit below the waist, but it still could have impacted the Team A player's knee or shin or ankle. This is a playoff game from 2 Saturdays ago, so there are 7 officials on the field. I'm the referee, and I'm completely embarrassed about my flag toss for A54's takedown. I purchased new flags this season, and the weight is about half of the penalty flag I used for 16 previous years. As I threw the flag, I thought, that's completely pathetic. B14 intercepts the pass at the A43. With 7 officials, the crew will now execute reverse mechanics. As the referee, I have the goal line. The side judge will get forward progress to the A2, and the head linesman will get forward progress between the A2 and the goal line. Despite working 5-person mechanics for the regular season, the 2 side officials perfectly executed their reverse mechanics. As the official on the goal line, I have the runner, but I made a potentially costly mistake. After B14 crossed the goal line, I looked back at the side judge to see if he was punching in to indicate the runner remained in bounds. I took my eyes off the runner. This is not acceptable, especially because the runner, who was my responsibility, was still running at top speed and other players around him were moving at top speed. So you can probably guess from this freeze frame what happened next. The head linesman saved the crew. He observed A54's personal foul on B14. My lesson learned is I need to keep my eyes on the runner until he is no longer at risk, then turn to the side judge to verify he is punching in, and then finally give the touchdown signal. That could have been a costly lesson learned, but thanks to the head linesman, we got the foul. I'm going to let this clip play to the end, and then we'll talk. What did you see? Rule 222 says hurdling is an attempt by a player to jump with one or both feet or knees foremost of an opponent who is contacting the ground with no part of his body except one or both feet. Again, we have the luxury of slow motion replay. Does B12 have a hand or a knee on the ground when A12 hurdles him? I think this play took the field judge by surprise. He doesn't signal touchdown. I think his spider sense is tingling because he observed something out of the ordinary and he's processing what just happened. Watch the line judge, who is currently out of the picture. The line judge is correctly viewing the players behind the runner, specifically A51 and A52 and B44. That's perfect eye discipline. So back to A12. By rule, this is a hurdle. This is a case where, like in basketball officiating, the field judge should officiate the defense. His eyes are on the runner, but he needs to look at the defender to determine his body position as A12 jumps. This is extremely difficult because, as I said earlier, hurdling is uncommon and often takes us by surprise. I'd like to see the back judge move down the end line to close the distance from himself to the action. He is currently looking at the players, but he could be closer. Here's another, oh crap, what just happened play. Team A is running the run-pass option, which even for college and professional officials is hard to adjudicate. With the RPO offense, the linemen run block on every play, and the quarterback has the option to hand the ball, run, or throw a quick pass. There is no way for the umpire to get to the line of scrimmage to rule on the quarterback's location when he passes the ball, so the wings will help with the ruling. A12 releases the ball behind the neutral zone, and the forward pass crosses the neutral zone, so ineligible players cannot be beyond the expanded neutral zone when A12 releases the ball. A79 is on the A44 when the pass is released, so he is not illegally downfield. It's important the umpire does not look at A79's position even a few seconds after the pass is released, because offensive linemen can advance quite a few yards beyond the expanded neutral zone in just a few seconds. That's why we say see the beginning, middle, and end of a play. Don't just see where A79 is standing right now and then look back to the line of scrimmage and say he's too far downfield and incorrectly throw a flag. Now let's take a look at A14. A14 blocks B8 before A11 catches the ball. If the ball had not crossed the neutral zone, this block would be legal. Rule 758A says pass interference restrictions on a legal forward pass begin for Team A with the snap. A14 cannot legally block B8 beyond the neutral zone after the snap before the pass is caught because the pass crossed the neutral zone. This is almost impossible for the head linesman to observe the location of the passer when he releases the ball, the direction of the pass forward or backward, and the illegal block downfield. This is the kind of foul that is typically noticed after the fact during film study. The ball is snapped on the B4. There are 7 officials on the crew, so the side judge is on the end line. We'll focus on the left guard A58 and the left tackle A63. Rule 7512 says they cannot advance beyond the expanded neutral zone on a legal forward pass play before a legal forward pass that crosses the neutral zone is in flight. The expanded neutral zone is between the B4 and the B2. Both linemen are in the end zone when the pass is released, so they are ineligible downfield. A63 is also blocking B34, so we have pass interference. A58 and A63 cannot go beyond the B2. That's a great get by the side judge. Ineligible downfield and offensive pass interference. This play occurred with the clock running with about a minute remaining in the first half. Team A is attempting to snap the ball as quickly as possible. One substitute has come onto the field and multiple players are moving to their pre-snap positions. A55 snaps the ball before all Team A players are set for at least 1 second. 4 officials had a flag on this play, both wings, the umpire, and the referee. The umpire kills the play and immediately signals false start. Here are a few teaching points. If we have multiple flags on the field, the officials need to come together to discuss the flags before signaling. All officials may not have thrown a flag for the same foul. Rule 717 says it is a false start if a shift or feigned charge simulates action at the snap, or if any act is clearly intended to cause B to encroach. I don't see any Team A player simulating action at the snap. If there's a question whether an action is a false start or illegal motion, the official should shut down the play and rule a false start. But in this case, in my judgment, the play should have continued and the foul should have been for an illegal shift, which is a foul simultaneous with the snap. Rule 923D says a defensive player shall not contact an eligible receiver who is no longer a potential blocker. With 7-person mechanics in this balanced formation, the linesman's key on a pass play is A7, the inside receiver on his side. Was B3 guilty of illegal use of hands by contacting A7? As a rule of thumb, if a receiver is on the same relative yard line as the defender cannot consider the receiver a potential blocker. In this clip, A7 runs directly to B3, and B3's contact is in front and not to the side. B3 has the right to initiate a block on A7, as he doesn't know if A7 is running a pass route or is a blocker. We'll see at the end of the play, the linesman continues to officiate after throwing his flag. He doesn't give up on marking forward progress. And we'll see at the very end of the clip, he's beginning to give the stop the clock signal. You'll notice the back judge has already given the stop the clock signal. We want the side judge and the referee to do the same. In my opinion, flagging illegal personal contact on a defenseless player is missed more than it should be because it is a relatively new rule and officials may not be aware of the associated rule caveats. Let's take a look at the play and then look at the associated rules. Rule 232.16b identifies a defenseless player as a receiver attempting to catch a pass. Rule 232.16c amplifies the concept by stating if a receiver who is attempting to catch a pass is forcibly contacted by an opponent, the contact must be incidental contact as a result of making a play on the ball, or initiated with open hands, or an attempt to tackle by wrapping arms around the receiver. No longer can a defender slam into a receiver with the shoulder to try to break up the play or dislodge the football. B44's contact on A7 is a foul. No play on the ball, no open hands, no wrap-up tackle. As with the illegal blindside block rule adoption in 2017, it will take a few years for players, coaches, and officials to adjust their understanding and recognition of illegal personal contact on a defenseless receiver. We need to continue to pre-game the concept and discuss it in our crew and association meetings. Forcible contact to a defenseless receiver, no play on the ball, no open hands, no wrap-up tackle equals personal foul. That's your weekly Dozen Playoffs edition. Thanks for watching our videos this season. We'll publish our next weekly Dozen video at the beginning of the 2025 season.